Good morning, everyone, and welcome to a Christmas Eve edition of The Lowdown from PressProsMagazine.com. I'm Bruce Hooley, wearing my red, wearing my Santa hat, wishing you a Merry Christmas. And thanks to those of you who have said, hey, why don't you update the video, Bruce? It's a couple days old. Yes, it is a couple days old. So it's nice that you're watching it. So you've been nice. I've been naughty. I haven't updated the video, but I will today before I go about my last-minute Christmas preparations. So on the site this morning for you at PressProsMagazine.com, how about that win by New Bremen last night against Jackson Center? Sonny Folks covered it. Great photos. David Homan, a name you might remember from MAC football, first-team All-League at quarterback, and that's saying something given the quarterbacks in the MAC, like Peyton Oddie at state champion Marion Local and Carson Bay at state champion Versailles. David Homan was the first-team All-League quarterback, and it looks like he can play a little basketball too, and it looks like he's got help because New Bremen is 7-2 now after that win, and they look like they might be able to challenge Versailles for the MAC title. But speaking of Versailles, they stay unbeaten last night with a big win over Minster in that Jackson-New Bremen game. You can read all about how New Bremen rallied down the stretch and managed to get the victory 56-53, despite Jackson Center scoring 53 points. I mean, as Sonny writes, normally with Scott Elkert's teams, they score 53, you're losing. And it struck me, New Bremen scored 56. I think I'm right on this. That is more than Jackson Center allowed in 3 games combined earlier this year. I think they allowed 14, 15, and 18. So, wow, New Bremen found a way to crack that Jackson Center defense. I can't say congratulations because then I'm picking a side, but a great game, and Sonny wrote all about it, and you got to get to the site to read about it. Also on the site, Mark Snyder writing about Ohio State wide receiver Jackson Smith-Njigba. He could be the #1 option when the Buckeyes play Utah on New Year's Day in the Rose Bowl. That is if Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson decide to opt out, protect themselves, don't want to get hurt before the NFL draft. I expect Garrett Wilson to do that. I don't expect Olave to do it because I think he'll want to play in front of his home fans from the state of California. Maybe they both play. Maybe neither plays. If neither plays, then we will see a lot of those young Buckeye wideouts that Brian Hartline has recruited. Jackson Smith-Njigba, of course, benefited this year from the attention paid to Garrett Wilson and paid to Chris Olave. If you look at the biggest games that Jackson Smith-Njigba had, it was in the games that you would figure would be the toughest games on the schedule. Games like Penn State and Oregon and Michigan and Nebraska on the road. Well, those are the games that you would think. You can only cover so many guys. You can only double cover so many guys. And Smith-Njigba got single coverage in those games, and he made those teams pay. But it's a different world once you're the #1 guy. Maybe he will be against Utah. Maybe he won't be. That is what Mark Snyder is writing about today. And also, I'm sure you've heard the Christmas carol, Do You Hear What I Hear? Bing Crosby, big hit. Do you know the story behind it? If you don't, you can find the story behind it at PressProsMagazine.com. Now, you might not know this, but Sonny Folks was a music major. In fact, I think a double music major in college at Ohio State. And he has also written about where the theme for the Charlie Brown Christmas came from and the story behind that. Both are very interesting. Both will make you seem like the smartest person in the room at your Christmas party when you say, hey, did you know the story behind that song? Did you know the story behind that song? That's what we're all about at PressProsMagazine.com, giving you the information that you care about that can allow you to be informed and, maybe show off for your friends a little bit. Now, follow us on Instagram, Press Pros Magazine. Follow us on Twitter at Press Pros Mag. Follow us on Facebook and follow us right here at PressProsMagazine.com. We do the lowdown, well, when it needs to be done. So we will be back with another edition of the Lowdown after Christmas, setting up the games of next week. Until then, I hope you have a very Merry Christmas. Thanks so much for what you do for us and what you do to patronize our sponsors. We'll see you out at the games you care about here at PressProsMagazine.com.